Alright, this is a video number 2. I suggest that you watch video number 1 of how to save and recall your mixes before you watch this one. This is in regards to building a mix foundation for the musicians. So we're going to get into some helpful tips here. So this unit here is obviously just like all the other ones. I normally start about right here. Now, what I want to point out to you is really important. This really honestly does not matter where you're at. This is going to depend on the type of headphones you have, how sensitive your hearing is. So there is no volume that Jason runs it here, I'm going to put it there. No. I've had headphones that I end up running it that hot because of they just weren't that great of quality. So the main thing I want to point out to you here is just make sure you can hear yourself and don't be afraid to crank this thing. I think some people get nervous when they see it, up around halfway. That's completely fine. Nothing is going to happen. As long as you're comfortable and you're not blowing your ears out, then that is going to be okay where you put that. The other thing is, if you're not hearing what you want to hear or enough of what you would like, another thing on volume is, on the individual, let's say I'm Vox 1, on the individual channel, especially on this, I mean, get leery of doing that. But especially on these channels, it's completely fine to have that up all the way. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not going to hurt anything. If you need to hear yourself, and you do, feel the freedom to go ahead and crank that thing up. And if you add a little treble, if it's sounding a little muddy, that might be able to get you perceptively a couple more decibels of volume in your ears just by cleaning it up a little bit. Okay? So, for the musicians, when I come in, of course we have click track now, and bass and kick, kind of the foundations of our mixes, if you will. Rhythm is a big deal. You want to be, as a musician, you want to be able to feel the music, you want to be able to engage with it. So we kind of say, we like to say that the kick and the click should be hitting you down the middle, meaning the pan on the kick and the pan on the click as a good starting point should be hitting you in the middle. Okay? That's important. And then the other instruments you can kind of fill in. I personally like my instrument also coming down the middle. So if I'm playing electric 1, I'd shore that up. And if there's a second guitarist, I might pan that to the left or right of the acoustic guitar. That's a good idea to do that, to provide yourself some separation. So just remember, the kick and the click coming down the middle, and the rest is really up to you. But a good suggestion in regards to your own instrument is start off with hearing it down the middle, and if you don't like that, you're more than welcome to go from there. In regards to panning, I mentioned it a little bit ago. Where I like to start is really I isolate the acoustic guitar to one side, and typically if I'm playing bass, the electric guitar to the other side. Now I don't go to extremes because to me that doesn't, it's just my preference. It doesn't give me the musical feeling I want, and it really extremely isolates the instrument when you have it to one side or the other. Now I will say, we do run stereo keys. So when on our keyboards, you're going to get the most, and this is together, so you're not going to select one or the other, it's going to select them both together. You need to pan those as far as they will go. Don't do them like this, because you will not hear the voicings of the keyboard like you need to. That one, just pan it all the way out just like that, and that's recallable together as a stereo instrument. So backing up a little bit, let's go back to the electric and the acoustic. So I'm pretending I'm playing bass guitar. So I have the acoustic a little bit to the right, and I have the electric a little bit to the left, electric 1. Now typically, if I'm playing bass, I will also take the worship leader and pan them a little bit to one side or the other. And then all of the singers, I typically do this, and I think you do too, John Phillips, take the singers and pan them to where they're geographically located on the stage. And also, I would recommend the instruments that you can do that with, also do that with, where they're geographically located on the stage, left or right, wherever you're standing. This will provide balance for your brain and just a better listening environment. So if I hear the vocalist starting to sing something prophetically and I hear them where they're standing, my brain is automatically kind of connected geographically with that. Excuse me. It's called psychoacoustics. That's how it works. And the last thing with the master volume, it's fine to turn it up in the middle of the set. But if you feel like you just have to keep turning it up, have to keep turning it up, have to keep turning it up over the course of the set, chances are you need to look into some better headphones. You need to make that investment of getting something that's a better listening device so you're not damaging your hearing over time. That's what we don't want to have happen. So that, as a recap, we covered how to come in and set up your mix kind of as a ground level with the kick and the click hitting you down the middle. Rhythm is very, very important. You always want to hear a good rhythm. Set the instruments up geographically as much as possible to where they're located on the stage. Try to separate in panning things like worship leader, panned away from the other vocalists, acoustic panned away from the electric, and you can even do some panning with drums. There is no right or wrong way to do it, but panning does greatly help your environment of hearing with that separation. I think you'll be surprised. So hopefully that helps. Thank you, guys.